Okay there, bassists. This next piece we're going to look at, very popular. I do it every semester. It's got a fantastic bass line. Of course, I'm talking about Californication by the Red Hot Chili Peppers. Flea is an awesome bassist. If you're not really familiar with the Red Hot Chili Peppers' work, uh, one of the things that really makes them stand out is the bass player, is Flea, because unlike lots of bands who perform lockstep or near lockstep, so if the guitar is doing this, the bassist is doing the exact same thing. What makes the Peppers stand out is that the fact that they sometimes you'll have the guitar's doing one thing, and within that same chord structure in the key, the bassist is doing something entirely different. And that's really part of their strength, is that they're playing separately yet together. And Californication is probably one of the best examples of that. Of course, you have the guitar, and if you go listen to it a couple times, you'll hear that guitar. And then while that guitar is going on, you've got something totally different happening in the background there. So there's a few parts to this. I haven't played this in a bit, but we'll just go through each part quickly. It'll be up to you to put them together and see how they sound with the song. The song follows a pretty standard structure. We've got some choruses, we've got some verses, pre-choruses, choruses, and moving all over the neck of the bass. But this main bit right here is the part you have to get down, and that would be this on the 7th fret of the D string. I'm playing this. You'll see the music I've posted has both guitar and bass, so look for the 4 lines of tab underneath the 6 lines of tab for what the bass is doing, and they often say bass repeats figure 2, figure 3, so you just got to go back and find where those figures are. But that is repeated every time somebody's singing. Sorry, that's not true. Every time a verse is happening. Psychic spies. That gets us through Psychic Spies from China, Little Girls from Sweden, all of those parts of the verse there. And when we get to the end of the verse drops down to this 3rd fret on the A string, and that would be the if you want these kind of dreams, it's scary. Then it goes right back into it. So that takes us that's the whole verse there. This part right here, and this part right here. The next part we'll take a look at is the pre-chorus for the Pay Your Surgeons Very Well. This is called bass figure 2 in there. You'll see in the tab that it starts on the 12th fret of the A string. Now you know, of course, if you move a certain number of notes up, or 5 notes up to the next string, you're playing the same note. So we can play it here, but then we have to drop down to the 8th fret. You'll see in that 2nd bar there of the A string. I find it's significantly easier to start on the 7th fret of the D string. The reason for that is that now my fingers are in one box right here, and I can play this. Without having to move back and forth. If you play on the 12th, you're then having to go back to the 8th this way, and it's actually a larger gap. So it's a little bit easier that way, playing on the 7th. You'll notice one time in the, I guess every other time, instead of just doing the, it goes back up to the 14th fret there. So That's for the pre-chorus there. The pre-chorus ends after, on the bottom of page 133, you'll see in there we stay on that 7, and then I just stay on the 8th, and it drops down on page 134. It drops down to the second time of this chorus, Dream of Californication. The first, yeah, that's at the bottom of page, top of page 134 there. Do I have all the pages here? I do. So I've got this 3. This is Dream of Californication. That would be the top line of 134. I'll do that again. At the very end, onto the third line of music, you'll see it says point. There's an E, 3 minutes and 7 seconds. That tells you what time it happened. You'll see it goes, instead of going back down to it goes, and it repeats. Whoops. That would be, I'm looking for a bar number I don't see. If you look to the middle of page 134, at the top left of that bar with a D minor chord, you'll see the number 37, so it's the 37th bar there. That would end off the Dream of Californication there. The only other part we have to talk about here is during the guitar solo. It's not an easy stretch for somebody like me with smaller hands and bent pinky fingers, but we're playing on the 9th fret there, and it's happening pretty quick. We got 9, 13, 9, 14. And that's during that guitar solo, and it happens a good number of times there. You can count that out. You'll see it in the music as well. And there is one more section very quickly here. Sorry I'm flying through this, but I'm trying not to make this a 20-minute video. But I want to give you something to work on for the next little bit. That'll be a bit challenging. And I'm looking at I'm looking at page 135 there, where you will see during the end of that solo, after this, and this would be bar number 44. If I look to the top of page 135, you'll see a number 43, meaning it's bar 43. Looking over one bar, down at the bass tab, you'll see this 7, 9, 7, 9, 9, 7, and I move up to that A position. These are really actually just power chords on the bass, but he's not strumming them. And that repeats. And then if you look for all of the going back to this part or that part, you'll see, I think the first time it goes back to doing this again. Okay, so you've heard, I've shown you each one of those little sections. The tab is right in front of you. This requires a good chunk of independent work yourself, but I'm sure you're up for it. I mean, it's fun to figure out. Go listen. There's a ton of videos out there that are going to show you how to play this as well. So take a look at whatever you'd like to look at, and have fun picking away at it. It is a great song, and it's awesome. It is a great feeling when you lay it all out in front of you and you hit play on the actual recording, and you can play along with Flea and play through the whole tune. It's really a great song for the bass guitar. Have yourself a great day. If you have any questions, as per usual, please message me on EDSBY.